Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy. Welcome to the channel. This video is all about equipment on Evony. I haven't done a video about this before, so I thought I'd just jump into it and give a quick overview on the kind of equipment that we get on the game and how to break that equipment down. There are quite a few places that we have equipment, and it is important to know what and how the equipment works. So the first place we're going to have a look is the forge, because this is where the majority of your equipment is going to be built, certainly from the beginning, and also if you are free to play. So the option that we would go into would be craft. You can also see there is an option there for materials as well, and again, when you go in here, you can see all the different types of materials that are going to be used to build all the different equipment. So you can see on this as well, you can compose, you can upgrade, you can take them to the next level, and you can also disassemble this material as well if needs be. But that is for the materials. Another place that you would want to also be aware of for your equipment is in the research factory, because this is somewhere where you can actually produce materials as well. So going inside here, and you can see I've got it all on the dragon scale. That's the one that I've chose, and you can see all the different materials going around here. These are what you would be looking at. Now, going back to the equipment in the forge, you can see actually I'm only level 35. Haven't really taken it up, and I'll be honest with you, genuinely don't know if there is any advantage to taking your forge any higher than 35. So if there is an advantage to that, please do mention it in the comments so that we can all know of the reasons why it would be beneficial to do that. Let's go back into forge. Let's go this time into craft. Let's have a look at the different types of equipment. So you can see at the bottom here, using this as the example, these are all the different types of equipment. So you can see we've got the helmet, we've also got the armor, we've got leg armor, we've got boots, ring, bow, spear, axe and sword, and the last one is for the officer, so that is consul's staff equipment. And again, you can see the name at the top here where I was reading them out. So again, that was sword, that was axe, if you wanted to see where that was. These also come with different attributes, as you can appreciate, and of course, as you're going to go up through the levels, you can see the difference between the purple, the orange, the gold, and finally the red, which is the top one that you would want on all of your different generals. Let's have a look at how that looks like on a general, and we will have a look at Ragnar. He's got no equipment attached, but you can see this is where you would do that. So this would be for the axe or the spear. The one underneath that would be for your armor. The one underneath that would be for your boots, and then on the right hand side we have the helmet, leg armor, and finally the ring. So in total there are 6 different pieces that you can use. Again, another thing to be aware of is the type of equipment that we can use. So you can build equipment based on your general, whether that's an archer general, whether that's a siege general, ground or mounted. Let's now go back across to the forge and have a look at, how we would craft one. So this is the one here. So let's just say I wanted to craft this orange piece of equipment. You can see again those materials we were talking about earlier. It shows you exactly what you would need, but you wouldn't want to craft this kind of equipment because that is not where you want to finish up. The end goal on this game, and it can take a while, is absolutely going to the dragon and the Amenadae equipment. That's where you want to finish off for all of your generals and all of your subordinate city generals, which we'll talk about in a moment. So this is the different type of equipment. Now, I was talking about the fact that you can get some for the different types of generals. So you can see on this one is a ground troop attack. If we go to the next one, you can see that this is mounted troop. And if we go across, you've got more mounted troop. And then on the last one, there is ground and mounted troop. So there is something to be aware of when it comes to doing all of your different generals and making sure they've got the right equipment for them. So as an example, we showed Ragnar earlier. I would want to be building ranged. Let's go back into this and let's imagine I'm creating a piece for him. So going right back to the start, I would start at the beginning. I'd be looking at helmet. Let's just say we've skipped past the orange and gold requirements, and now we are looking at the red equipment, the good stuff. And let's have a look at what would be ideal for him as a ranged general. So ground troop attack is not going to be any good. good. We would then continue across. Let's have a look at this one here. This is mounted, and then you can see again we've got the Achaemenid. This is also mounted, and this one is ground troops. So when you see these kind of things, you can see these are the only 4 options via this method that you can do. You've then got to look at what is the best option. Obviously ground is going to be no good for a range general, and the same with the mounted troop HP. But what would be good would be some debuffs, and that is these things here where you can see it says enemy ground troop defense. Let's go on the basis that most people, 95% plus I would imagine, on this game will have a mounted trap account of sorts. They will all be building T1, so we would want to debuff the mounted troop attack. And then if we was going across to the next one, we would do the same again. We would be looking for dragon armor or Achaemenid armor for the range general. And again, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got mounted troop attack, troop defense. It's got some mounted troop HP, so that is definitely an option. We've got some range troop defense there, 15%. Ideally, we would like to find some attack, but you can see again on this one, got some debuff. That might be a better option to go if we can't find anything that is perfect for the ranged. And again, this one also comes with enemy mounted troop defense as well. The other thing to be aware of as well is they all come with set attributes, which you can see down here at the bottom. So this would also guide you in your decision as to what you'd want to do. Let's go back to this. So you can see we've got attacking troop attack as the set attribute for only all 6. That would be for either of these dragon armors, the fearless or the courageous. And then this one here would be enemy troop attack minus 15% and enemy troop attack minus 15% on that one. So again, if you are going to go down the dragon armor, it's making sure that you're choosing a whole set that is based around a whole set of dragon. And again, if we was going the other way, let's just say we're going with that enemy troop attack for 6 out of 6 there, 15%. So the idea is that you want to match something here that goes alongside your range general. And again, if we were doing this from the beginning, the one I'd be potentially choosing is this one here because it comes with range troop attack, 15%. And we also get some additional buff there as well with the attacking troop attack, 10%. So that would be a good option for our range general. Again, when we go on to this side, out of these 2 go alongside that, and the range troop HP seems like it would be the best option. We would then go to the next one, and again choosing the dragon armor, we would then choose on the basis of this one range troop defense, so we would go with the courageous dragon leg armor. On the next one, let's have a look what would you choose on this. Range troop HP would be the option. We go to the ring, and again on the ring, let's have a look at what we would choose. March side capacity is definitely a good option and is better than the other one, and also comes with that range troop HP at the top. And then finally, we need to find either or of a dragon bow, spear, the axe, or the sword. So you can see here for that last piece, there are 4 different pieces that we would want to choose. Again, this one would be okay. That range troop attack, 25%. So again, that's what you would also use. Now, there is something else that I do need to make you aware of. You also need this piece here. So when you are crafting the red equipment, you can see that I would need a dragon bow scroll for the different ones. Can get quite complicated, but again, I will try and break it down as easy as possible. So we now want the materials, which are these. We now want the dragon scroll, which is this. We're now looking for a range troop buff, which is this. And we want to make sure all part of the same set. So everything would be part of that dragon set. That's what we would be looking for. Because if we went the other way round, so if we was going with the Achaemenid, we would need to make sure that all of the equipment across all the different ones all fall under that Achaemenid option. That is what we're doing. Now, there are some different rules for different pieces of equipment. I'll show you a sub-city general now and show you what they look like. And if I go into my sub-generals over here, this one is Mark Antony, and you will see that he has all of the right set. He has all Achaemenid equipment. That's what you'd be using on your sub-city generals, because we want to debuff the enemy attack that's coming at us. That's what the sub-city general is doing. It's debuffing the attack that's coming at us. So when they've got their equipment, when they've got all their different buffs that they've got from the different places, I'm trying to take that away from them when they come at me. So this courageous equipment for Sub-City Generals times 6 is the way to go, and that's exactly what I've got here. You can also see as well that I've got the full set, and if I was to look at all the different equipment, you can see all of the different kind of things that I'm getting there. Not only am I debuffing, but I've also got some in-city as well, which is helping buff up the troops that I have in the city when being attacked. So that is what you need to be aware of for your Sub-City Generals. They would all have the courageous equipment times 6. And it does say Parthian on here. That brings me nicely to the next point. The reason that that is Parthian is because this Benedey equipment has actually been upgraded. So again, another option. Once you've got all of your equipment to a certain level, we can upgrade it. And when you go into the equipment, it's going to show you all the equipment you have. So let me go to the beginning one. This is a Courageous Dragon helmet that I have that I can take up to Ares when upgrading. And those different upgrades will then also come with some additional buffs. And if we click on the helmets, you can see this is what the original stats would be. And then if we go to the Ares part, you can see what the new buffs will be. So the original was 15% and 5. This is now going up to 17%. Do be aware as well that you can see here, checking out this here, ground, siege, in-city, ground. When we go to the upgrade, you can see this is now changed to ground, siege machine, and in-city. So it's something to be aware of. It will change potentially what buff comes with that equipment. Again, just to complicate procedures even more. Also be aware as well that with the certain upgrades as well, so if you're going from, let's just say you can see here, this is the dragon armor, takes it to courageous Ares. So that's the two that I'm showing you there. Once I've done that and then taking it up to the next level, which would be, let's just imagine I've now taken it to the Ares, you can now see that Ares now can become Imperial, which is the final stage. Same with the Parthian if you was doing that on the flip side. But just be aware, it does come as well with something else additional that you need, which is your Forge Master Certificate. I know there are going to be people who break this down in the comments. I really am thankful for the people that do this in a way that is going to be nice and simple to understand, because when I start throwing all these different things at you, you're like, whoa, there's just too much information to take in. Again, I will try to slow it down. I will try to make it understandable. So now we've got a few different things for this. We are now crafting. We are checking on what it is called here at the top. We can then take that to the red level, which is the most important. That red level will come with different materials that are required. You can also see it needs a scroll. So that is a dragon scroll that would be used for that equipment. They have all their different buffs that are here. You would want to match one of these buffs up to the relevant general. So if you are using a ground general or a siege general, this potentially could be an option for that because of that ground and siege machine buff that's there. Also as well, be aware of the stats and making sure that if you were choosing this, the dragon, you need to make sure that all 6 pieces that are going on your general are all dragon, so that you are getting these 6 set attributes that you can see at the bottom. The next thing to be aware of is that you can then upgrade that piece of equipment. And once you've upgraded that, there are 2 different upgrades. The final upgrade being the one that takes it all the way to Parthian. So you can see this one actually is now going from Amenade to Parthian that I was talking about earlier. And again, you would need these Forge Master certificates to do it. Can I confuse it even more? Yes, I can confuse it even more, because inside the equipment, we also have civilization equipment. Civilization equipment is even better than the normal equipment that I just showed you. We call it the normal equipment, the standard equipment from before. Civilization is a premium piece of equipment, and when you go in there, you can see that we can get these different ones, and these come with way better buffs. But as you may appreciate with this, it is either hidden behind a paywall or it requires a lot of grinding to get the relevant piece of equipment. And the way to remember this is on the left hand side, that is definitely behind the paywall. That's why I have none of them on this Asanian set. But you can see on the right hand side, which come via either slow grinding, that can take a long time getting it from all the different events that are out there, or potentially even a small amount of pay can even get you there as well. It definitely takes a long time. I've been playing this particular account for nearly 2 years. It might even be the 2 years now. And you can see on this ranged general equipment, why is it ranged? Because you can see all the different things there that go alongside ranged buffs, and owning the full set will give me a 10% ranged attack. So that's what I would use this for. But it's taken me up to 2 years to get only those 3 single pieces that would be used on my ranged general. Let's go and have a look at him. Marcus Agrippa. Let's go to my favourites. Let's go to Marcus Agrippa. There he is. All that Sasanian equipment on the side. And then on the other side, again, I've attached equipment all goes around that ranged troop attack. That's what I would want with my ranged general, everything being based around that. You can see on this one there was no ranged troop attack available, but what was available was enemy mounted troop defense being debuffed, which again is going to help when doing the attack. How is that? I don't know. I don't know how good that is. I genuinely don't know. Probably confused the hell out of people with this particular video. I never know how these videos are going to go until I watch them back later and I'm like, should have said this, should have said that. Now, the other thing to mention about equipment, yes, there is more, is that you can also refine all of the equipment. Yes, another thing to be aware of when doing this is there is more stuff to do, and refines are, thankfully, I think, the last thing that goes on the equipment. But again, this all depends on what you need. For attacking, you would want what's known as percentage refines. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that's what you would want if you were attacking. If you were defending, and let me get a different general up, let's get one of my subordinate city generals that we showed you earlier, Mark Antony. I would want this. I would want flat refines. Obviously, you can see there, I've got this top one, 16.4% construction speed, load of rubbish, need to get rid of it, need to change it on a refine. So, flats. The flat is the plus without the percentage. Percentage, self-explanatory. It's the percentage refines. On your attack generals, you would want percentage refines. On your debuff generals, wall generals, subordinate city generals, you would want flats. Not going to go into it as to the reason why. It would make this video too complicated. But there is a video I've done on refines for you to explain that in more detail. What else have I missed? There is officer gear. I'm not going to talk about it actually too much. I'm going to literally skip over this. The reason I'm going to skip over officer gear is because I don't own a single piece. I've been playing for 2 years. It is hidden behind a very expensive paywall, but again, we can give officer equipment to the people that are on the different buildings. Let's go into craft. Let's go and have a look at an officer piece. It's all the way right at the end. And you can see here, we've got an academy officer's ring. We've got a stable officer's ring, consul, hospital. Basically, it's one of your building generals that can have these attached. I've never ever got one, ever, and that's why I'm not going to talk too much about it. But again, it would work in the same way, or you had the money to be able to do that. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. I've never seen one. I probably never will see one. That is for that. What else do I want to talk about? Again, just want to keep it nice and simple. Talk about the upgrades. I've mentioned about the civ gear. Sub-general gear is also very useful. Wall general gear, basically on your wall general. If you were going into your wall general, which mine is Queen Boudica. Let's put it on favourites again. Go to Queen Boudica. Here she is with all the different ones. I've been very lucky with Queen Boudica because you can see on the side here, I've got Choreo times 3. And a lot of people have Choreo times 3 on Queen Boudica. Again, if you've been grinding for a long time. But I also have 2 pieces from the left-hand side that were completely lucky from Alliance boss chest. Only ever got 2 pieces of equipment from the Alliance boss chest. And randomly, they were both the left-hand side Choreo. What are the chances? Probably never see that 3rd piece, but it doesn't matter. That is what I've got. But again, if you was doing your general, you would be looking for enemy ranged something. You would also be looking for those flat refines that I spoke that would go alongside the mounted troop, because that's the most troops that I've got. And you would then have a look at advanced refine. There's another thing. I'm not going to talk about advanced refining because we're going really, really deep into the game. But there is actually another thing as well, which is further from the refine. On all of your civilization gear, which is the Choreo, all that expensive stuff beyond the paywall, if you was to get all 4 gold refines, opens up advanced refine, which you can then go and get some additional buffs. In a nutshell, what else is there? Again, this is a 30-minute video. I didn't think it was going to be a 30-minute video, but it genuinely is. It's actually not that easy to get it any less than that. So again, let's try try and summarize this in 1 minute. Is it possible? Probably not. We've got a forge. We've got a craft option to make all the 6 different pieces of weapons that go onto your general. If we use this one as an example, this is the leg armor option, and you've got different types going all the way up. Skip the yellow. The idea is you will at some point be on dragon or Akmenade leg armor. That would be the end goal, and there are 2 pieces for each. So there's 2 pieces for the Akmenade, 2 pieces for the leg armor, and then this can also be upgraded. They all come with their different buffs, which are down here. They all require a scroll that goes with that, and then these all have different buffs in here. We have set attributes, which can then also aid as well, and then on top of that you can also upgrade this equipment via the equipment upgrade option, which also requires, let me go all the way to the one at the end, which also requires Forge Master certificates. You can also add refines to each piece of equipment, which I'll show you again on this, which would be based around the relevant general. Again, you would want to match up all the different buffs to the relevant general. There is equipment that is good for range, there is equipment that is good for ground, siege, mounted, wall generals and sub-city generals. There is a lot of different equipment out there. And then the final thing that I want to show you is, if you are early game, this might not be useful for the longer game, but if you did go into ranking and then you went into general ranking, you would actually get the top 100 generals all with their equipment. Now this, as I said, is really good early days. As you go further along, it isn't. You can see actually my Queen Boudica is there, 9.2 million in 79th place. But the reason I'm saying this is good is because you can go and click on, let's click on this MJ1 Marcus Agrippa, and then we click inside. You actually see what equipment they have attached to that particular general. So this is a great way of looking to see, are you doing the right equipment? So I could go into here and I could say, okay, he's got the Imperial bow. It's got ranged troop attack 52%. Got all the flat refines on there as well. That's what I'm going to go after. You can see he's got Sasanian armor on there as well. You can see there's the ranged troop defense. Again, it's with the percentage buffs that I spoke about. This is a really good way of matching your general with the right equipment. Again, I will show you that. Go into this, go into ranking, go into general ranking, top 100 generals. If you are looking for a ground general, Lujan is a ground general. Let me click on Lujan, and this is what I'll be trying to do. I'll be trying to match up my equipment to these people. Now, of course, the reason I'm saying it's no good now is because this server's been running for 2 years, and a lot of people are going to have the premium equipment that is hidden behind a paywall. But certainly at the beginning, you will find a lot of people, a lot of generals in that top 100 that will be similar to the generals that you have with the same kind of equipment. I'm going to leave it there because I think that is more than enough information. And if you are actually still here at the end, drop a comment, because I can imagine I probably lost a lot of people at probably minute 15. That's my guess on the YouTube algorithms that I'll check later. So if there's anything else that you think is relevant to this particular video, please do leave it in the comments. I also stress for the people who know who they are, that break down things in a certain way that is definitely beneficial to people looking in the comments, then please do go ahead and do that. It's always very much appreciated. And I'm going to leave it there for this equipment video, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.